So, my garden is in a little crisis. A very little crisis. A few months ago, I was, as usual, watering and maintaining the garden. But then I noticed something strange with my bush sitaw plants. They were fruiting but started to have yellow leaves, probably because of the past storms and bad weather. Looking at the soil, I saw some fungal growth, and I was amazed because it had tiny brown circle things and was developing a web-like structure. I felt a little proud, seeing the soil active and having signs of life. All those fertilizers and organic practices I was investing in finally started to pay back. And then, most of my plants started dying. Turns out, the fungal growth that I saw was related to sclerotium, a very destructive soil-borne plant disease commonly called as southern blight. It has a wide range of targets, which is why I had to be very vigilant. After a few days, the bush sito plants, what we can now call K0, started to wilt rapidly and would eventually die, a common symptom of the plant disease. But back then, I thought the plants died because of the bad weather, and I tried not to blame the fungi. I was very amazed back then that I thought I was cultivating beneficial bacteria. I would collect samples of this fungus and inoculate my compost bin and other plants. And that's how I started an outbreak. The fungi spread to most of my plants, mostly the vegetables and the ZZ plant. After doing some tense research and blaming myself, I made a full stop in gardening to control the outbreak. You know, 2020 quarantine stuff. I don't really know where the fungi came from. It just started growing and I probably just got carried by the wind. But part of blame was me being complacent. I rarely cleaned my tools and pots, which could have made the situation easier to handle. I also rarely sanitized my soil mix to prevent killing of beneficial bacteria which would otherwise aid plant diseases. Because of academics and other stuff, I had some delays in researching and planning for the project. I did some initial stuff like cleaning the water buckets and gardening tools to prevent further modes of transmission. I also started replacing old, possibly infected soil and buying new ones which I featured on the last video. I cleaned and restarted the bokashi bucket beforehand, so after all of the cleanup and everything, I have a fresh batch to work with and to nurture good bacteria. Then, I disposed of old pots which showed intense sun damage and would break by just carrying it, and cleaned pots that are still strong. I scrubbed them to get rid of the soil and sprayed it with disinfectant to kill the remaining spores. And to further eliminate all risk, I placed some of them to the sun to solarize. What a lame excuse to throw this because of sun damage. With the help of my dad, we decluttered some old stuff to avoid nesting areas for present and future fungi. Then, I sanitized the site of the initial outbreak. For some reason, it is raining while it's sunny, but this is what I did so far. So I removed the wooden plank from this section because this is where the bush sita was planted, and the wooden plank, it might house fungal spores, so I did not risk using it again. So this is the wood piece that I have, or that I removed. It's almost rotten. um, I did saw some isopods and springtails house in this wood, but then again, I'm not risking it because it might already have the southern blight spores. So yeah, I've also cleaned the ceramic pots and also these recycled planters, and I have some new dragon fruits which I might feature in the next video, so yeah, stay tuned. So with the help of my dad, we've decluttered quite a few gardening junks. Those are the extra wood pieces that was lying around this side of the garden. A few pots which I'll still clean up, and I did lemon tree. So this was like the priority area because mainly this is where I'll situate the compost bin, and I don't want it to get obviously the fungal spores from the southern blight and also other um, bad bacteria which might cause plant diseases. This is the compost pile as of today. um, I will feature this in future videos, but for now it is empty. It only has an initial layer of soil to kickstart the microbial activity while the bokashi is still doing its process. I've also mixed in vermicast, the one that I featured last video, and garden lime. So yeah, there's traces of it everywhere. I've placed garden lime to control the acidity of the soil, which also controls the fungal growth. And I've also placed in sphagnum moss, I don't know if you can see, to further prevent the uh, fungal spores from growing. We're doing a very big precaution. So that's the update. There was a lot of work and cleanup, and I hope that this video helped as an awareness. I will start on uploading regularly again and expect that the upcoming videos will still have a connection with this stuff. If you did enjoy it, consider hitting the like button and sharing this video to your friends. If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing. And also, I invite you to visit my Facebook page. I'll put the link in the description below. Until next time, this is Ed Cashel, signing out.